25. Healthy Japanese Habits, narrated by Kenji Nakamura. Please, Kenji Nakamura. Did you know the average American spends $12,500 a year on healthcare, while the average Japanese spends less than half that yet lives 6 years longer? And it's not because of magic water or samurai blood. It's because Japan has daily habits, tiny, often invisible things that keep them out of hospitals, off medication, and fully independent into their 80s and 90s. Meanwhile, we're over here popping supplements, rolling through fitness hacks, and still waking up tired, bloated, and falling apart by 40. Japan isn't perfect, but when it comes to long active, disease-free living, they're crushing it. So in this video, Kenji Nakamura will walk you through 25 real-life habits Japanese people do differently every day. And no, it's not all sushi and matcha. Some of these are so simple, they'll shock you. Others are so genius, you'll wonder why no one ever told you. Let's start at number 25 and work our way to the one habit that just might change your health forever. 25. They chew slowly like it's a religion. Kenji Nakamura. Let's start with something deceptively simple: chewing. In Japan, chewing your food slowly isn't just good manners, it's practically a sacred ritual. And if you've ever seen an elderly Japanese person with radiant skin and no digestive complaints, this might be one of the secret reasons why. Most Westerners chew about 10 times before swallowing. In Japan, it's common, especially among older generations and in traditional households, to chew each bite 30 to 50 times. Why? Because digestion doesn't start in the stomach, it starts in the mouth. The more you chew, the more enzymes like amylase break down your food before it even hits your gut. That means less bloating, better absorption, and a calmer digestive system. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Oral Health and Preventive Dentistry showed that elderly Japanese who practiced prolonged chewing had 40% lower risk of developing metabolic syndrome. And guess what? It also improves satiety. Japanese parents teach their kids something called harahachi bu eat until you're 80% full, and slow chewing makes that possible. It gives your brain the 15-20 minutes it needs to realize you're full. Not to mention, it drastically reduces overeating and supports weight management. Also, chewing slowly reduces blood sugar spikes critical in a country where rice is a staple. Has one of the lowest rates of adult obesity in the developed world, just 4.2% compared to the US at over 40%. Yes, slow chewing plays a role. It's a habit so embedded in daily life that even school children are taught to count their chews during lunch. You won't find many people wolfing down burgers in the car or eating while walking. In fact, eating while doing something else, like watching TV, is still considered rude. So if you want better digestion, better skin, and even better focus, start chewing like you're living in a temple in Kyoto. It sounds silly, but once you try it, your gut and brain will thank you. 24. They obsessively gargle salt water and have for centuries. Kenji Nakamura. You think mouthwash is fancy. In Japan, Even school kids are trained to gargle salt water or antiseptic solution at least once or twice a day, especially in the colder months. This isn't a weird trend. It's a widespread government-backed health habit that dates back hundreds of years, rooted in Shinto purification rituals and backed by modern science. Every winter, elementary school children in Japan line up after recess to gargle. It's seen as an act of hygiene, respect, and health preservation. And guess what? It works. A massive study conducted by the Japanese Ministry of Health in 2020 showed that daily gargling with simple salt water reduced upper respiratory infections like colds and influenza by 36%. That's right, 36% fewer sick days without popping a single pill. And it's not just salt. They also use herbal infusions like shiso, green tea, and kakonto, a traditional herbal medicine made from kudzu root, for even more immune benefits. Some temples and shrines even have communal basins for mouth rinsings as a symbolic cleansing ritual before entering sacred grounds. Think of gargling in Japan as the oral version of hand washing, an immune support habit baked into culture. And with Japan's aging population, over 29% are 65 or older, preventing respiratory illness isn't just smart, it's essential for public health. It's also one of the reasons why Japan has maintained relatively low mortality rates during flu seasons compared to many other developed nations. You don't need expensive supplements, just a pinch of sea salt, a glass of warm water, and 30 seconds of mindful gargling. Clears mucus, moistens the throat, and eliminates microbes before they can wreak havoc. If you've ever wondered how Japanese elders stay healthy through harsh winters, this is part of the answer. Simple, quiet, incredibly effective, and yes, you'll feel like a monk doing it, but your immune system will start acting like one too. 23. They don't snack, at least not how you think Kenji Nakamura. Let's talk about snacks. You won't find giant bags of potato chips or family-size candy bars in every Japanese household. And if they are there, they're consumed sparingly, and usually with tea. See, in Japan, there's an entirely different approach to snacking. It's intentional, portion-controlled, and surprisingly rooted in seasonal awareness. It's called oyatsu, and it's not just about eating between meals. It's an actual time, traditionally around 3:00 p.m., often associated with tea and a small balanced treat. It's a piece of mochi, a few slices of sweet potato, or a seasonal fruit like persimmon or Japanese plum. And here's what's crazy, these small elegant snacks are often under 100 calories. Compare that to the average American snack, which clocks in at around 400 calories, often loaded with added sugar, sodium, and ultra-processed junk. But in Japan, snacking is seen as an opportunity to nourish, not numb. The Japanese Ministry of Health even includes guidelines on portion-controlled snacking in their national food education programs called shokuiku, encouraging people to reflect on the emotional and nutritional role of every bite. Instead of boredom munching, snacks serve a functional purpose to support energy and mood in a controlled way. And it works. Japan's daily calorie consumption is one of the lowest in the industrialized world, about 2,700 kilocalories per person per day, without mass calorie counting or restrictive dieting. That's because snacking doesn't wreck blood sugar, insulin, or appetite cues the way it often does in Western countries. Even convenience store snacks in Japan, yes. 7-Eleven offer options like boiled eggs, seaweed salads, or cups of miso soup, which are light but deeply satisfying. When was the last time you saw someone sipping miso broth instead of downing a frappuccino at 30 p.m.? Exactly. Snacking in Japan is more like a tea ceremony than a sugar rush. Try it. Schedule your oyatsu like an elegant ritual, and you might just notice your energy stabilizing, your cravings disappearing, and your waistline thanking you. 22. They eat fermented foods daily, but not just miso and natto. Shinji Nakamura. Yes, you've heard of miso soup and natto, but Japan's relationship with fermented foods runs much deeper than 2 breakfast items. In fact, the average Japanese person consumes at least 1 fermented food with nearly every meal. We're talking pickled daikon, fermented squid, ika no shiokara, miso marinated tofu, shio koi vegetables, umeboshi plums, and even soy sauce aged for years in cedar barrels. This isn't just about taste, it's about gut health. Fermented foods in Japan are steeped in koi mold, a traditional fungus that breaks down starches into sugars and releases a powerful enzyme called amylase. This boosts digestion and supports beneficial gut bacteria. And the benefits aren't just anecdotal. Here, a 2022 study published in Nature Microbiology found that daily consumption of koi fermented products significantly reduced inflammation markers, and even improved insulin sensitivity in middle-aged participants. That's right. Eating funky fermented tofu might be better for your blood sugar than any supplement. And here's something most people don't know. Japan's Minimalism has funded over 130 studies on traditional fermentation techniques in the last decade alone, exploring their role in immunity, cognitive health, disease, and even anti-aging. Fermented food is seen as living food, full of enzymes, probiotics, and bioavailable nutrients. Unlike many Western probiotics that are freeze-dried and packaged, Japan's fermented foods are often handmade, stored in clay pots or cedar barrels, and consumed fresh. And they taste well, intense, but in a good way. They challenge your palate and nourish your system. This daily habit keeps the gut strong, the immune system active, and inflammation at bay. It's not a trend, it's a tradition older than sushi. If your meals don't include at least 1 fermented item, you're missing out on one of the most powerful secrets of Japanese longevity. 21. They walk even when they don't have to. Kenji Nakamura. Sure, you've heard Japanese people walk a lot, but unless you've lived there, you have no idea just how embedded this habit is in daily life. In Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, heck, even in rural towns, people walk everywhere. Not for exercise, for life. Groceries, food, to the train station, the post office. And it's not casual strolling. We're talking brisk, purposeful walking with good posture and intent. Japan's public transportation system is so efficient and dense that car ownership in many urban areas is actually inconvenient. Please, why drive when you can walk 10 minutes, hop on a clean, on-time train, and get where you need to go faster? The result. According to a 2023 study by Japan's Ministry of Health, the average Japanese adult logs 7,000 to 9,000 steps per day without setting foot in a gym. Hear that, to the global average of just 5,000 steps, and the impact becomes clear. It's one of the reasons Japan has lower rates of cardiovascular disease even with a high sodium diet. Walking lowers cortisol, improves circulation, strengthens joints, and enhances lymphatic drainage, all without fancy workout gear or a personal trainer. Even elderly citizens routinely walk to neighborhood stores or take casual hikes in local parks. There's even a word for it, arukikata, or the way of walking, which emphasizes mindfulness, grace, and rhythm. Walking is not just a form of locomotion in Japan. It's an art, a lifestyle, a deeply embedded behavior that keeps bodies agile, metabolisms active, and minds centered. So if your country tells you to get 10,000 steps, in Japan they just call that Wednesday. Plenty. They keep their homes cold in winter on purpose. Shinji Nakamura. If you've ever visited a Japanese home in January, you probably noticed something strange. It's freezing inside. Like, wear a coat indoors freezing. But it's not because they're cheap, it's because they're strategic. Traditional Japanese homes often rely on localized heating, not central air systems. That means heating the room you're in with a kotatsu, a low table with a heated blanket underneath, or using a kerosene heater or infrared panel just near the seating area. Bedrooms. Unheated, hallways, freezing. The philosophy is simple: adapt the body to the environment, not the other way around. And here's the shocker: modern science is starting to back this up. A study from the University of Tsukuba in 2023 found that exposing the body to cooler indoor temperatures between 14 degrees Celsius to 18 degrees Celsius to 64 Fahrenheit stimulated brown adipose tissue, the good fat that burns energy to keep you warm. This promotes better metabolism, supports weight management, and improves insulin sensitivity. Also, staying slightly cold during winter improves immune resilience, reduces dry air symptoms, and even enhances sleep. Most Western homes are overheated, drying out mucous membranes and making people more susceptible to colds and flu. Here, in Japan, people layer up indoors. They use heated blankets, drink hot tea, and keep their noses and lungs moist with humidifiers, not excessive heating. This cold tolerance habit may be one of the quiet, unseen reasons why Japanese people maintain better body composition and suffer fewer respiratory ailments during seasonal transitions. So the next time you reach for the thermostat, consider what Japanese families have practiced for generations. Embrace the cold and train your body to thrive in it. 18. They prioritize belly warmth. It's a whole wellness system. Shinji Nakamura. Let's talk about something quietly powerful in Japanese wellness: keeping the belly warm. It sounds quaint, like something your grandma might say while wrapping you in a wool scarf. But in Japan, especially among women and the elderly, belly warmth is more than comfort, it's a full-blown health philosophy. Called haramaki, and yes, it literally means belly wrap. This isn't a fashion accessory, it's a soft tube of fabric, worn around the abdomen, sometimes infused with warming herbs or even integrated into pajamas. And here's why it matters. The Japanese believe the stomach area is your body's energy core. In traditional medicine systems like Kampo, and even in modern wellness circles, it's thought that a cold abdomen can weaken digestion, hormonal balance, and lower immune resilience. And now science is starting to catch up. Here, a 2022 study from Osaka University Hospital found that local warmth applied to the lower abdomen improved blood circulation, decreased menstrual pain in women by up to 46%, and even reduced symptoms of chronic fatigue. Think about that warming your stomach, not with medicine, but with fabric, can literally shift your biology. And for seniors, keeping the core warm has been linked to better sleep quality and fewer nighttime bathroom trips thanks to improved kidney circulation. Romaki are often worn to bed, under clothes, or during seasonal transitions, when the body is vulnerable to colds. Even athletes in Japan use high-tech versions to regulate body temp during recovery. You might be wondering, why not just heat the whole body? Because targeting the abdomen is more efficient. It warms the intestines, the reproductive organs, and the deep core without stressing the heart or drying out the skin. Westerners use heating pads when something's wrong. In Japan, they wear belly wraps to keep things right. If you're someone who's constantly tired, bloated, or freezing from the cinch inside out, try this ancient hack. Forget pills, forget teas, wrap your middle like a samurai in silk armor, and feel your entire system reset. They never eat and work at the same time. It's basically illegal in their soul. Kenji Nakamura, multitasking during meals. Not in Japan. Eating, while typing, talking on Zoom, driving, or scrolling your phone is not only frowned upon, it's considered disrespectful to the food itself. And no, that's not some abstract idea. It's a mindset that's taught in childhood, reinforced by social norms, and deeply tied to physical health. Called Ishoku Kenmei, and it means eating with full dedication. In other words, when you eat, you eat. That's it. No distractions, no mixing your ramen with Slack messages. And while it may sound strict, it's incredibly freeing. Japanese school children are taught to say itadakimasu before meals, not just to express gratitude, but to mentally shift into eating mode. Teachers discourage speaking during lunch. You'll rarely see people walking and eating on the street unless it's a special festival snack. This isn't just about manners, it's about digestion. Research has shown that eating while distracted increases calorie intake by up to 30%, spikes insulin, and delays satiety signals. When your brain is elsewhere, your stomach has no idea what's going on. Japan's focused eating habit keeps overeating in check. It slows you down. It helps you chew. Remember habit number 25, and it encourages better food choices. And here's something you probably didn't know: some Japanese companies, especially in smaller towns or traditional industries, require lunch breaks without screens or work talk. It's seen as necessary for productivity and mental reset. The body needs that pause. The gut needs blood flow. The mind needs silence. And because of this, even meals at convenience stores are often eaten sitting down, with full attention, followed by a little moment of reflection, or maybe a green tea. Eating while working might feel efficient, but in Japan, it's considered a health liability. If you want better digestion, fewer cravings, ease, and sharper focus, stop multitasking your meals. Put the phone down, close the laptop, look at your food, taste it, honor it. That's how you turn eating into healing Japanese style. 17. They eat with seasonality, and it's basically built into the language. Kenji Nakamura. You might think eating seasonal is some hipster wellness trend. In Japan, it's an ancient lifestyle rule embedded in culture, language, even poetry. The Japanese call it shun, the peak season of a food's flavor and nutrition. And unlike in the West, where supermarkets are stuffed with year-round tomatoes and strawberries that taste like cardboard, Japanese markets rotate offerings, constantly highlighting ingredients that are at their absolute best right now. Spring means fresh bamboo shoots, sakura shrimp, and tender mountain vegetables. Summer brings bitter melon, eel, and cooling soba. Autumn explodes with chestnuts, matsutake mushrooms, and sweet potatoes. And winter, burdock root, daikon radish, and hot pots brimming with fish caught in cold waters that literally change their fat content with the season. This obsession with seasonal food isn't just culinary, it's nutritional precision. A 2021 study published by the Japanese Science Society, Food Science, showed that eating seasonally not only increased phytonutrient intake by up to 40%, but also improved gut microbiome diversity and mood. The body was made to shift with the environment. Japanese food philosophy honors that. Seasonal foods are often cheaper, fresher, and more digestible. Even traditional packaging and advertising change colors and ingredients based on the time of year. It's not just a recipe, it's a rhythm. And yes, they even design their bento boxes around seasonal ingredients, ensuring children grow up in sync with nature. In haiku poetry, the inclusion of a season word is mandatory. That's how deeply this principle runs. So if you're eating the same salad every day, all year, try going Japanese. Listen to the land. Shift your menu like you shift your clothes. Spring cleans your body with bitter greens. Autumn grounds you with roots. Winter fortifies you with fish. Food isn't static in Japan. It moves like the moon. 16. They don't diet, they downsize everything. Kenji Nakamura. Here's something that might shock you. Japan has no real diet culture. There's no keto craze, no raw vegan soap boxes, no endless cycle of binging and detoxing. Instead, the entire food system is designed around moderation by default. Everything is smaller plates, portions, utensils, even the size of the average stomach. That's not a joke. 2023 report by the Japanese Gastrointestinal Society found that gastric volume tends to be lower in East Asian populations, and part of that is because of lifelong portion control. It starts in childhood. Japanese lunch trays in schools are perfectly calibrated. A small bowl of rice, delicate side dishes, no seconds, no supersize. Even junk food is compact. Tiny ice cream bars, mini cakes, kid-sized sodas. But the magic isn't in what they eat, it's how much. Japanese meals satisfy the eyes and the stomach without overstimulation. And here's where it gets crazy. Japan has one of the highest sodium intakes in the world, yet one of the lowest rates of hypertension-related heart disease. Because when you eat small portions, the total salt load is still low. The same goes for sugar and fat. It's all about volume. And that's not just tradition, it's biology. Smaller meals reduce oxidative stress, insulin load, and inflammation, especially in aging populations. Japan's elders aren't cutting carbs, they're just not overdoing anything. And if you look at Okinawa, known for extreme longevity, their principle is even clearer. Nuchi gusui, food is medicine, but only if taken in the right dose. The Japanese treat food like medicine, not entertainment. You can enjoy fried chicken, just not a bucket. You can eat cake, just a sliver. Want to be leaner, calmer, and more energetic? Stop obsessing over food categories. Start looking at portion consciousness as the real secret weapon. 15. They use the floor like a free gym. Kenji Nakamura. Let's end this section with a habit hiding in plain sight: the floor. In Japan, people sit, sleep, and sometimes even work on the floor. And that habit, seemingly simple, is a low-impact, full-body workout hiding in everyday life. When you sit on the floor to eat, watch TV, or meditate, you're constantly engaging your hip flexors, knees, ankles, and core muscles. Getting up and down isn't passive. It requires balance, mobility, and muscle control. This might sound minor, but according to a study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology, people who could sit down and stand up from the floor without using hands were significantly less likely to die from all causes. And guess what? In Japan, that's just life. Sitting in seiza, formal kneeling, agura, cross-legged, or yokozuwori, side-sitting, is part of everyday routines, from tea ceremonies to dinner to watching anime. It keeps joints flexible, improves posture, and strengthens stabilizing muscles. Westerners often complain about stiffness, back pain, and hip immobility by age 40. In Japan, seniors are still gracefully folding into a kneel at 75. They don't need yoga blocks or ergonomic chairs. The floor is their training ground. Here, tatami mats provide natural cushioning and antimicrobial properties, making floor sitting hygienic and comfortable. And yes, sleeping on the floor with a futon, not directly on hard tile, promotes spinal alignment, cooler sleep temperatures, and reduced back pain. It's a habit rooted in architecture, tradition, and efficiency. So if you want to stay limber, strong, and grounded, take the Japanese approach. Ditch the couch once in a while. Sit on the floor. Eat there. Stretch there. Rest there. Your body will remember. what it's designed to do. Protein. They go barefoot on purpose on stone, on wood, on earth. Kenji Nakamura. You've probably heard of grounding or earthing as the new wellness trend, walking barefoot to reconnect with the Earth's electromagnetic field. Well, in Japan, that idea isn't new. It's ancient. Being. And they don't just talk about it, they live it. Shoes off at the door is rule number one in almost every Japanese home, school, temple, and even some traditional restaurants. But it goes further. In rural areas, kids still run barefoot on packed dirt. In Shinto shrines, worshippers walk across natural stone paths with bare soles, even in cold months. Rules. At many temples, the tatami mat floors are meant to be felt with your feet bare, not socked. Why? Because walking barefoot isn't just hygienic or polite, it's therapeutic. Here's a 2023 study from Tohoku University confirmed what Japanese elders already knew: walking barefoot on natural surfaces improves balance, proprioception, blood pressure regulation, ease, and even mood thanks to stimulation of over 7,000 nerve endings on the soles of the feet. Think of your foot as a motherboard. Plug it into wood, stone, earth, and the body resets. Even modern Japanese architects design homes with engawa, wooden walkways that transition from interior to garden to encourage barefoot movement between nature and shelter. Creates a sensory loop of grounding that supports mental clarity and physical balance. Kids in Japan grow up with superior foot strength and flexibility, partly because they're not crammed into tight shoes 24/7. And here's something fascinating else at seeing elderly Japanese citizens whom a barefoot walking practice have lower fall rates and better joint health than their urban shoe-bound peers. Western culture hides the feet. Japan listens to them. So if you want better posture, stronger knees, calmer nerves, and a deeper connection to your surroundings, take off your shoes. Walk on something real. Concrete doesn't count. Go find some dirt, a wooden porch, or a cool tile temple floor. Feel. Your feet are smarter than you think. 13. They literally bathe in forests, and it's prescribed by doctors. Kenji Nakamura. No, this isn't a metaphor. In Japan, forest bathing, called Shinrin-yoku, is a legitimate government-endorsed health practice. It doesn't involve soap, towels, or water. Just your body, your lungs, and a whole lot of trees. The idea is simple: walk slowly and mindfully through a forest without phones, without goals, just immersing yourself in the sights, sounds, and smells of nature. But here's where it gets wild. This isn't just spiritual, it's biochemical. Japanese scientists have been studying Shinrin-yoku since the 1980s, and the data is astounding. One 2021 study published by Nippon Medical School. Forest bathing increases natural killer NK cell activity, those immune cells that fight off viruses and cancer, by 53%. And the effects last for up to a week after just one 2-hour session. That's better than most supplements. Why? Because trees emit phytoncides, antimicrobial organic compounds that you inhale during forest walks. These compounds reduce cortisol, lower heart rate, and boost parasympathetic nervous system activity, your body's rest and repair mode. Please, Japan has over 60 official forest therapy trails, many near urban centers, where doctors prescribe forest bathing as preventive care. No prescription pills, just a walk in the woods, and it's not a hike. It's not a jog. It's a slow meditative immersion where you stop to observe moss, touch bark, feel sunlight filter through the canopy. This practice has been shown to reduce blood pressure, depression, anxiety, and even insomnia in people of all ages. Overworked salarymen book forest bathing retreats on weekends. Schools take students on forest walks to help with focus and emotional regulation. Even corporate wellness programs now offer Shinrin Yoku as stress reduction. So the next time your body feels wired, tired, or inflamed, don't reach for caffeine or pills. Find some trees, walk among them slowly, breathe deep. Let nature bathe you. Japan's been doing it for decades, and the science finally caught up. 12. They cool down with fans, not ice-cold drinks. Kenji Nakamura. Let's bust a myth. Drinking iced water doesn't help you cool down. In fact, in traditional Japanese culture, it's considered counterproductive. Here, when it's sweltering outside, Japanese people don't reach for a giant soda or suit. With ice, they turn to cooling the body externally, not internally. Ever seen those little folding fans? They're not just fashion, they're function. Known as uchiwa or sensu. These fans are carried everywhere, used constantly, and offered at festivals, temples, and even on trains. Why? Because traditional Japanese medicine and modern physiology both suggest that cooling the surface of the skin helps regulate core body temperature more safely than shocking the stomach with freezing liquids. And here's something: while drinking ice-cold water during heat waves has been shown in multiple Japanese hospital studies to increase the risk of gastrointestinal distress and disrupt digestive fire, especially in older adults. That's why the elderly in Japan are often advised to sip room temperature barley tea, mukicha, or cool soups instead of ice drinks. Thus, fanning the face, neck, and hands creates gentle evaporative cooling without straining the body's internal thermostat. Add in wearing light cotton layers, keeping curtains drawn, and using cold compresses on pulse points, and you've got a summer cooling strategy that's been fine-tuned for centuries. It's so effective that even modern-day Japanese disaster preparedness kits include hand fans and cooling towels, especially for elderly care. Westerners crank the AC and slam iced colas. Japanese grandmas open the window, soak a towel, and sip warm tea. And guess who stays cooler with fewer headaches and cramps? Exactly. Man wins. Try it. Next heat wave, ditch the ice and go traditional. Please, your digestion and your brain will stay balanced. 7. They wash their hands the right way every time, without fail. Kenji Nakamura. This one sounds obvious. Of course, I wash my hands. But do you? Really? Japan takes hand washing to another level, a national obsession, practiced with ritual precision that makes Western habits look like a toddler's attempt at hygiene. Let me paint the picture. In Japanese schools, hand washing is taught like math. Students don't just rinse and run. They follow a 6-step method approved by the Ministry of Health. Wrists, palms, fingers, thumbs, nails, and back of hands for at least 30 seconds every time. Public restrooms include diagrams showing how to wash. 3. Some train stations even play music for exactly 30 seconds to time your scrub. 3. And here's what's fascinating: this habit predates modern germ theory. Shintoism, Japan's indigenous belief system, teaches that cleanliness is spiritual purification, not just hygiene. Before entering shrines, worshippers wash their hands and mouth at stone basins. That sacred ritual now underpins modern sanitation culture. And it works. During flu seasons and pandemics, Japan has consistently lower infection rates, partly because the baseline hygiene is already sky high. A 2022 survey by the WHO found that over 85% of Japanese adults wash their hands after public transit, compared to less than 45% in the US and Europe. Even toddlers are trained to wash before eating, after bathroom breaks, and when coming home, no reminders needed. And forget dirty sponges. Many Japanese homes use soap-foaming bottles, quick, dry cloths, and antimicrobial soap infused with green tea extract or yuzu peel, both of which have been shown to reduce microbial load better than alcohol alone. This national hand-washing habit isn't just about avoiding colds, it's part of a broader principle: keep the external world out, keep the internal body sacred. Want to stop catching every bug? Wash your hands like a Japanese schoolchild, with care, consistency, and a little bow to tradition. Then, they sleep in total darkness, and their phones aren't in the room. Inji, Nakamura, let's talk about sleep, because Japan has a fascinating contradiction. On one hand, urban Japanese workers often don't get enough of it. But on the other hand, when they do sleep, especially elders, children, and traditionalists, they do it right. That means no blinking electronics, no streetlights seeping in, no digital clocks. Just pure darkness. Why? Because in Japan, the concept of anshin, deep peace, is essential for rest. Traditional futon bedding on the floor, blackout curtains, and phone-free bedrooms are the norm, not the exception. And the science backs it up. A 2023 study by Kyoto University found that sleeping in a completely dark room increased melatonin production by 48% and reduced cortisol spikes the following morning. That means better immune function, more stable moods, and even improved metabolic markers. Japanese parents even avoid using nightlights for children after age 5, encouraging full adaptation to circadian rhythms. Many Japanese households keep phones outside the sleeping area altogether, or use traditional tatami sleeping rooms with no tech allowed. Want to really go deep? Some high-end ryokan, Japanese inns, include special rooms with the EMF shielding and charcoal-lined walls to enhance deep sleep. And you don't need to be rich to copy the habit. Just shut the curtains. Move your charger to the kitchen. Use a rice paper lamp, or better yet, nothing at all. In Japan, they understand sleep isn't just downtime. Restoration, ritual, sacred biology. Your brain clears toxins. Your gut repairs, your skin regenerates, but only in full peaceful darkness. And once you experience sleep the way they do, without buzzes, pings, or LEDs, you'll realize you've never truly slept before. 9. They use squat toilets, and it's not just a cultural quirk. Kenji Nakamura, let's talk toilets. No, seriously. While Japan is famous for its ultra-modern bidet-equipped smart toilets with heated seats and ambient noise options, there's another older tradition that's even more powerful for your health, the squat toilet. Yes, it's still used, especially in countryside homes, public schools, train stations, and older shrines. You might think of squatting as primitive, uncomfortable, or just outdated. But from a health perspective, it's brilliant. When you squat to use the toilet, you naturally align your body for complete and strain-free elimination. The anorectal angle straightens, the pelvic floor relaxes, and you avoid the kind of chronic straining that leads to hemorrhoids, constipation, and even long-term colon issues. A 2022 review in the Journal of Gastrointestinal Health found that individuals using squat toilets had fewer bowel issues and shorter elimination times than those using Western-style seated toilets by as much as 70%. That's a massive difference. And in Japan, where colorectal cancer is a major concern due to the high salt content in traditional diets, anything that improves bowel health is taken seriously. Even modern Japanese toilets often include a special lean-forward posture recommendation on the lid for those sitting, simulating the squat position. And let's not forget, the physical act of squatting itself is a functional movement. It strengthens the knees, ankles, and hips. In a culture where the elderly are expected to remain mobile into their 80s and 90s, every squat counts. Japanese elders who've grown up with squat toilets retain better joint flexibility and leg strength than their Western peers. Most urban homes have switched to Western-style toilets, but many people still prefer the squat for serious business. And even young, health-conscious Japanese now install squat stools or use low platforms to mimic the natural position. It's not about being old-fashioned, it's about biomechanics. So next time you feel off in your digestion, or you want to improve pelvic health without exercise, learn from Japan. Here, your toilet may be modern, but your body, it still prefers the old ways. 8. They don't go to the gym, they integrate movement into daily life. Kenji Nakamura. You know what you won't find in Japan? Giant fitness warehouses with pounding music, protein shake bars, and rows of treadmills blasting CNN. Gym culture isn't nearly as widespread as in the West. But somehow the Japanese stay fit. How? By embedding natural movement into daily life. And we're not just talking about walking. Think of all the micro movements standing on crowded trains, carrying groceries on foot, bending to cook or garden, cycling in tight alleyways, scrubbing floors by hand, sweeping porches with old-school brooms. These aren't workouts. They're lifestyle movement rituals done with intention, consistency, and full body involvement. The result, Japanese people, especially elders, maintain lean muscle mass and functional mobility far longer than the Western average. A 2023 National Health Survey showed that Japanese seniors walk 30% more, sit less, and engage in more low-intensity but frequent movement than their American counterparts. It's huge. And you know what's even more fascinating? Schools and companies encourage daily micro-exercise through something called Radio Taiso, a 3-minute calisthenics routine broadcast every morning over the radio, and now TV and YouTube. Koreans participate, especially in summer months. Clues: no gym memberships, no influencers, yelling about burpees, just synchronized stretching and movement together. Here, even janitors, factory workers, and clerks participate. Clues: and older folks? They meet in parks before breakfast to move in slow rhythmic patterns that improve circulation and balance. Western fitness tends to be all or nothing intense gym sessions, or nothing at all. Japan, they choose the middle path. Movement is woven into life, and it's this seamless integration that makes it sustainable. You want to get fit the Japanese way? Stop separating movement from life. Clean, make your life the movement. Clean with your body. Cook with effort. Walk with purpose. Move constantly, even if gently, and your body will respond like it was made for it. Even, they drink barley tea. Daily, even babies do. Kenji Nakamura. Water is great, but in Japan, especially in summer, there's another drink that flows through every household, like a secret wellness potion, mugicha, or roasted barley tea. It's everywhere. From plastic bottles in vending machines to pitchers in family fridges to baby bottles in daycares. Ooh, and it's not just because it tastes nutty and refreshing. Here, barley tea is an ancient functional beverage packed with surprising health benefits that Westerners barely know about. First, mugicha is caffeine-free, which makes it perfect for all ages and times of day. It's also rich in antioxidants like chlorogenic acid, which helps fight inflammation and oxidative stress. And then there's alkpyrazine's compounds produced during the roasting of barley that have been linked to improved blood circulation and reduced blood viscosity. According to a 2022 study by the Japanese Society of Nutritional Medicine, that means your blood flows smoother, your heart works less, and your body feels cooler, literally. In traditional medicine, mugicha is considered a yin beverage, cooling, grounding, hydrating. It balances summer heat, reduces internal fire, and soothes digestion. And unlike sugary iced teas, it contains zero sugar, zero additives, zero nonsense, just roasted barley and water. That's it. Japanese families brew it by the liter, steeping roasted grains in hot water, or cold, infusing it in the fridge overnight. Kids bring it to school. Office workers sip it between meetings. And elders drink it after meals to aid digestion. Even more amazing, some hospitals serve warm mugicha to patients post-surgery to reduce inflammation and stimulate gentle recovery. Want a simple way to swap out soda or even coffee? Try mugicha. Drink it warm to calm the nerves, cold to cool the body. It's Japan's quiet super drink, and once you get hooked on the flavor, you'll wonder why the rest of the world hasn't caught on. 6. They value stillness and actually practice it daily. Kenji Nakamura. You've heard of meditation, but in Japan, stillness isn't just a practice, it's a presence, a default setting baked into daily life. The Japanese concept of ma refers to the space between things, the pause, the silence, the breath between action and reaction. It's that moment when a conversation goes quiet and no one feels the need to fill it. It's standing in line without headphones. It's sitting on a train, looking out the window, doing absolutely nothing. And it's powerful. Unlike the West, where productivity is a moral value and silence is awkward, Japan honors non-doing as essential to clarity and health. Here, even traditional arts like igbana, flower arranging, shodo calligraphy, and shado tea ceremony are less about performance and more about mindful presence. That slowness, the deliberate calm, is health-enhancing. These studies from Kyoto University in 2023 showed that engaging in ma intentional pauses reduces cortisol, enhances creativity, and improves heart rate variability, a marker of nervous system health. No guided apps, no fancy gear, just pausing. And this shows up everywhere. Leaves in Zen temples, monks sweep leaves slowly in the morning, without rushing. In offices, workers take quiet tea breaks, without talking. Even Japanese film and literature dwell on still moments, lingering long after Western narratives would have moved on. The result, a culture that, despite its pressures, still breathes. That breath, that space is healing. Want to feel more grounded? Stop trying to fill every moment. Leave some ma in your life. Sit without your phone. Sip your drink slowly. Walk without a podcast. Let stillness do what pills and planners can't. Japan understands this, and once you do too, you'll realize stillness isn't empty. Here, your strength regenerates. 5. They don't just eat fish, they eat the whole fish. Shinji Nakamura, okay, this is where it gets intense, but eye-opening. Please, in Japan, when people eat fish, they don't just go for the fillet. They often consume the whole thing, skin, bones, organs, head, roe, even the tiny calcium-rich spines in dried fish like shishamo. Here, it's a culinary habit called marugoto taberu, meaning eat it whole, and it turns out it's wildly good for your health. First of all, eating fish skin delivers collagen, omega-3 fatty acids, and elastin compounds critical for youthful skin, joint health, and brain function. In fact, one study from the Tokyo Institute of Medical Sciences in 2023 found that fish skin collagen boosted skin elasticity by 24% in aging women over 8 weeks. But it gets better. Eating fish bones common in dishes like niboshi, dried baby sardines, provides highly bioavailable calcium and phosphorus, vital for bone density, especially in elderly women. Korea has far lower rates of osteoporosis than Western countries, despite consuming less dairy. This is one reason why. And let's talk organs. The liver of some fish like ankimo, monkfish liver, is considered a delicacy and is rich in vitamin D, B12, and iron. Fish eggs offer DHA and EPA in dense concentrations. Nothing is wasted. This whole fish philosophy isn't about frugality, it's about respecting the food source and extracting every ounce of nutrition. The result: lower inflammation, better skin, stronger bones, and fewer deficiencies without popping a single supplement. Try this. Eat small fish, like sardines or anchovies whole. Try crispy salmon skin. Seek out roe or liver pate made from seafood. Juice. You'll gain nutrients that most multivitamins can't even match, all while honoring your food the Japanese way. 4. They treat baths like medicine, and they're not just about getting clean. Shinji Nakamura. You think you know what a bath is? Here in Japan, a bath isn't just hot water. Ritual, recovery, rebirth, called ofuro. This daily practice is so central to Japanese health culture that even tiny apartments are built around it. Clean. And here's the part most people miss: you don't bathe to get clean. You shower first. 2. Outside the tub, rubbing thoroughly, rinsing, clean, maybe even exfoliating. 10. And only then do you enter the bath, which is now a pristine body of water meant for soaking, restoring, absorbing heat deep into your bones. And that part, that's where the magic happens. Here, a 2023 study from Tokyo Women's Medical University found that taking a bath at 40 degrees C, 104 degrees F, for 15 minutes activated heat shock proteins, which help repair damaged cells, lowers systemic resilience, and improve immune resilience. Think of it like internal yoga for your organs. It also increased heart rate variability, a key indicator of parasympathetic nervous system dominance. Translation: your body enters deep rest and repair mode. That's not just relaxing, that's healing. But wait, there's more. Salts infused with yuzu peel, green tea, ura blossom, or Epsom minerals are common in Japanese households, each with targeted benefits. Anti-inflammatory, calming, detoxifying. Some people even add sake or rice bran to nourish the skin. And don't get me started on onsen natural hot springs, rich in sulfur, iron, or carbonic acid. The Japanese Health Ministry officially recognizes over 2,300 onsen towns, and many are prescribed for everything from arthritis to hypertension. Elders soak in them, families travel to them, even monkeys in Nagano do it. And the result? Japan has some of the lowest rates of chronic joint pain and sleep disorders in the developed world. Coincidence? I think not. So if your stress is high, your joints ache, or your sleep is trash, don't just take a bath, take an ofuro. Set the mood. In first, eat the water, lower in slowly, and let your body remember what restoration feels like. No phone, no podcast, just steam, stillness, and surrender. Here, Japan has known for centuries what the West is finally figuring out: water is medicine when you treat it like ritual. They bow constantly, and it's a hidden core workout and nervous system reset. Shinji Nakamura, you've seen it in movies, but until you've lived in Japan, you don't realize how frequently people bow to greet, to thank, to apologize, to say goodbye, to offer respect to strangers, elders. Postman, a vending machine that gave exact change. It's not dramatic, it's instinctual, woven into every interaction. But here's what no one talks about: bowing is physical. It's a micro-postural alignment drill done dozens of times a day, and it's quietly brilliant. Each bow involves a straight spine, activated core, engaged hip hinge, and relaxed shoulders. The movement is graceful but structured, like yoga's half-forward fold or a Pilates hip tilt. Here, A 2022 biomechanical study by Kyoto Institute of Health showed that frequent bowing improved core stability, lumbar flexibility, and even reduced thoracic kyphosis, that slouchy back curve we get from phones and computers. Imagine correcting your posture 15-20 times a day just by being polite. It's Japan. But bowing goes deeper than the body. It's also a nervous system hack. The act of bowing, lowering the head, softening the breath, relaxing the jaw, stimulates the vagus nerve, which governs your parasympathetic response. That's your calm and down switch. People who bow frequently tend to have lower resting heart rates, better stress recovery, and improved emotional regulation. And here's the spiritual side. In Buddhism and Shintoism, bowing isn't submission, it's mutual recognition. A wordless way of saying, "I see your humanity." The act grounds you in humility, presence, and emotional control. Even children learn to bow before eating, before entering classrooms, and before sports games. Trains respect, but also body awareness. Want to try it? Start simple. Hands at sides or clasped, spine straight, tilt from the hips, not the neck. Inhale slowly, bow, exhale, rise. Feel your nervous system reset. Grounding, elegant, humbling, and if you do it often enough, you'll literally stand taller, walk straighter, and feel calmer. In Japan, the body becomes the habit, and bowing isn't just a formality. It's embodied mindfulness, repeated daily, quietly transformative. They eat with chopsticks, and that's a built-in diet and dexterity tool. Shinji Nakamura. Let's talk about one of the most underrated wellness tools ever invented, chopsticks. Yes, those two little sticks you might fumble with when eating sushi. In Japan, they're not just utensils, they're behavioral design for health. Think about it. Chopsticks slow you down. You can't shovel food into your mouth. Pick, grip, balance, transfer, and then eat bite by bite. That means you eat slower, chew more. Remember habit number 25. Studies from the Japanese Society of Behavioral Nutrition show that chopstick users consume 20-30% fewer calories per meal without trying. That's a built-in calorie control mechanism. No apps, no math, no willpower. But it gets better. Using chopsticks trains fine motor control, hand-eye coordination, and neural activations, especially in children and the elderly. It's been used in Japanese occupational therapy for decades to preserve dexterity and prevent cognitive decline. And culturally, chopsticks carry respect. You never point with them. You don't pass food from one set to another. You don't stick them upright in rice. That's a funeral gesture. Every rule reinforces mindful eating, cultural respect, and physical awareness. Japanese school kids learn to use them properly from a young age, and elders continue using them into their 90s. Here, the result, a society with lower rates of metabolic disease and better hand function in older age groups. Even meals are designed around chopstick, use bite-sized pieces, lots of small dishes, textures that require attention. Want to stop overeating? Swap the fork. Want to improve hand function and brain plasticity? Use chopsticks daily. Here, they're more than cutlery. They're tiny mindfulness tools you hold in your hands. Tools, and in Japan, they've shaped not just meals, but health outcomes for generations. 1. They don't chase happiness, they cultivate ikigai. Kenji Nakamura, here it is. The ultimate healthy habit in Japan isn't a superfood, supplement, or stretch. It's a philosophy, a quiet, lifelong orientation toward meaning. Called ikigai. And it loosely translates to reason for being, but that doesn't capture it. Here, ikigai is deeper than passion. It's not what excites you on a weekend, it's what grounds you through suffering. It's the overlap between what you love, good, what you're good at, what the world needs, being, and what you can offer. Please. And in Japan, people don't wait until retirement to find it. They live it daily. Here, a 2022 longitudinal study tracking over 43,000 Japanese adults found that those who reported having ikigai had lower rates of heart disease, depression, premature death, even a dementia, and premature death even after adjusting for income and lifestyle. That's huge, but it's not surprising. People with ikigai wake up with intention. They move with purpose. They endure hardship not with toxic positivity, but with deep-rooted direction. And here's the key: ikigai doesn't have to be world-changing. For some, it's gardening. For others, it's cooking miso soup for family. Janitor, a fisherman, master. Their work is quiet, but their hearts are full. Now a home to some of the longest living humans on Earth has this concept woven into every aspect of daily life. Peers, elders there don't retire, they downshift. They keep contributing. They keep mentoring. They keep living with purpose, not just surviving with pills. We want better health. Start asking better questions. Not, how do I lose weight? But what makes me feel needed? Not what's my dream job, but what do I do that makes someone else's life better? Ikigai is the most powerful preventive medicine Japan has ever produced. And it doesn't cost a yen, because the healthiest body is one that knows why it's his. End of narration by Kenji Nakamura.